Well, hello, everyone. I am back. It is Denver Broncos tonight with your host, the Kodiak. And overall, hope you all are doing great on this Friday. Just got out of work at a restaurant. You know how service industry can be. But so let me know what you guys think in the comment section down below because it just appears like it is me right now. Either way, while people are joining, if you're catching this on the replay, make sure to leave a like and subscribe if you are not already. But if you're catching this on the replay, I figured I'd just point a couple things out to you. First of all, I do this every night. Or I'm at least going to try to as long as I can. As long as it's feasible for me to do so. But I'm also, in case you're wondering what I'm munching on, I see these everywhere, and I was like, all right, I had to try these, but these freeze-dried Skittles are him. Can't even lie. They give you the Skittle sensation without, how do I put this? They give you the Skittle sensation without making you feel like you need to see the dentist right after. Yeah, buddy. What I did want to talk about while people are showing up here is that Surtain and Dobbins are officially out against Kansas City, which is not good news for us, obviously. Hold on, I'll be right back. I also see this everywhere, Starburst Ice, and I'm like, all right, I had to try one of those. But yeah, for those of you who just joined, welcome in. I'm the Kodiak, and I do this pretty much every night now. But either way, so obviously it's a tall task to go up against the Kansas City Chiefs without your best player on the defensive side of the ball. And, something was interesting that was asked to me on Horsepower Hour on Monday. I assume you guys are familiar on the show if you're around my channel. But one of my good friends, Jeremy, he basically said, hey, would you guys rather have Surtain or Dobbins for this game? And I was like, man, I don't know. I was like, I genuinely don't know because, on one hand, whoop, that was from my video back in November, or September, I should say. But yeah, so once again, drop a comment, interact with me because you guys are what makes this show. Either way, Surtain, Dobbins, Ellis, and Adkins are out for the Kansas City game. There's another guy who is out. I can't remember who it is off the top of my head, but Marvin Mims and Trent Sherfield and John Franklin Myers, who were on the injury report this week, are in. Let me find out who's out because this is really going to bother me. Let me figure out the fifth player who's out because I remember it was 5. It was 5 in total. Okay, Singleton. All right, yeah. That should have gone without saying, though, so I am going to update that real quick. All right. Either way, so this is basically what we're rocking with this upcoming week. This is the crew we're going to go into the game against the Chiefs with. And yeah, so once again, if you guys are here to say what's up, chill with me on this lovely Friday night, November 14th, 10:34 p.m. Mountain Standard Time. Let me know what you guys are thinking about this KC game. Let me know what you guys are thinking, heading into a game where we're 8-2 and they're 5-4, because usually the roles are reversed. Usually it's the Chiefs that are just running away with the division, and usually it's us that's playing catch up. But you guys are going to have to let me know how you guys feel about this contest, because me, I've been saying it all week on this channel. I feel optimistic, but I don't think we're going to win. So it's interesting. It's interesting how I feel about that. But yeah, overall, that's how I'm feeling, gang. That's how I'm feeling, gang. And also my cat is behind me as well. So we're really getting this stream going. And yeah, overall, got about 6 of you in here. Hello, guys. Probably going to spike up to 10. Yo, what's up? Pleasure to see you again, son of Judah. Very, very happy that I get to see all these regular people now, it feels like. Yesterday, I mentioned that I was potentially going to have a different camera on this show tonight, and the camera was delivered late today while I was at work at the Amazon locker. So tomorrow, when you guys see me, I promise I will have a different view. You're going to have a different view of me, I should say. But yeah, I was talking about these before y'all came in. I see these everywhere, so I was like, all right, I have to try these. I literally have to try these. Yeah, either way. Sorry. All right, I promise my snacking is over. Either way, going into this game against the Kansas City Chiefs, I'm like, man, I want to be optimistic, and I feel like I am optimistic. I'm optimistic that we'll play a very, very good game against Kansas City, but man, I don't know. Which game did you pick that the Broncos were going to lose and they ended up winning? Houston, because and that's honestly the only game I've gotten wrong this season. Or actually, no. Houston and Philly. I thought before the year began, I thought we'd lose to Houston and Philly, but I thought we would beat Indianapolis. So, if you're looking at my predictions from before the season or whatever, then I predicted them to be 7-3 at this point. But Houston and Philly, I thought they were going to both lose going into those weeks, but I digress. But yes, to answer your question, DSW, that is who it was. Hold on, let me get my water here. Man, I'm eating, I'm snacking, I got all the fluids with me. Going to be a pretty good night to talk Broncos, y'all. Either way, so no Patrick Surtain, and I haven't even talked about this yet. No J.K. Dobbins. Oh boy. Like, honestly, I figured we weren't getting a full 17 out of him, but it just sucks that it did happen on a hip drop tackle. And, poor guy. This guy could have had an amazing career had he just not been hampered by injuries. Obviously, second year in the league, I believe, in August, he tore his Achilles before the year began, or ACL or something like that. And then in week 1 in 2023, he tears his Achilles again against Houston. Yeah. Like I said before the Eagles game, 1% chance, 99% faith. I do think this game decides the division, though, barring any surprises. I mean, yeah, you're probably right. The only thing I could see the Chargers keep on winning. I could see them, keeping on their run, I should say, because even without Alt and even without Slater, that's still a pretty good team over there. Like, even though they're missing 2 of their best players, but yeah, I don't think we need to be worried about them like making a deep run or anything like that. But I could see the Chargers keep on winning. Like, it wouldn't surprise me if they won the division, quite honestly. But yeah, I think this game likely does decide the division. And actually, maybe not this one in particular, because it's more of a must-win for Kansas City than it is for us. That being said, it would really suck to drop to 0-2 in the division. Or no, 1-2-0 in the division. RJ Harvey, please save us, dude. Literally. That's how I'm feeling, Andy. Like, man, RJ Harvey. All right. It's time for the Broncos to prove why they took RJ Harvey in the second round last year. And I know that the fan base is excited about Jaleel McLaughlin. I know that some people are excited about Tyler Bidet, but man, I'm here to tell you that Jaleel McLaughlin, or actually nobody's really excited about Bidet, but a lot of people are excited about Jaleel. And if Jaleel gets a significant role on Sunday, I can almost guarantee that we're going to lose. But if Harvey proves that he can be a bell cow and he is efficient with his touches and he can, rip off those explosive plays, then I'll feel really, really good about this game. Dude, I take one sip of this and I just can't stop sipping on it. It's like Starburst sparkling water. It's weird. Yeah, either way, man, you should see my TikTok comments. I'm actually going to show you. I did this last night, but I'm going to show you all my TikTok comments because there are a lot of people that are really excited for the opportunity that we've got from Jaleel McLaughlin. And hold on. No. All right. Dobbins video. Okay. Here's the one. Is Mims going to be playing? Somebody said McLaughlin should take Bidet's role. He has a higher ceiling. I said McLaughlin is cheeks. He's undersized. He can't catch. He doesn't play special teams. He can't pass protect. Hey, what's up, Faded Wolf? Happy to see you again tonight. I just started 10 minutes ago because I was in, I was at work tonight, but I did get out pretty late. But so here's, I think, what a lot of the fan base are saying. Like, somebody said McLaughlin should take Bidet's role. He has a higher ceiling. I said no way. Hold on, here we go. All right. Finding this comment again. All right. McLaughlin sucks. He's undersized. He can't pass protect. He was a big reason why we sucked. And this guy said the reason it was so bad was because the backs had to share the room. Bidet is terrible and only use pass protection. He's useless, can't catch, doesn't run the run game, wasn't even terrible last year. McLaughlin had the same amount of jump yards as Javonte with less touches. And I said, listen, dude, like he was calling for basically Jaleel McLaughlin to take over the backfield. And I get where he's coming from with that one. Like the fact that we didn't let any of these guys get hot, which that's not invalid based on last year. But first of all, he's 187 pounds. He was never going to be like a 15, 20 catch guy. But they all failed to cement why they should get most of the touches last year. So, yeah. At least Bidet can pass protect. I see his role in the backfield without Dobbins. Jaleel just won't provide anything. Yeah, like you're right. Jaleel McLaughlin only provides like maybe being able to make a guy miss. And while that is an important skill and it did bail us out on the red zone or on the goal line last year against Tampa Bay, ultimately, I feel like he really just doesn't do a whole lot well. The reality of the situation is he's just not that good of a player. And I think I mentioned this last night, but I'm pretty sure he has the most carries in college football history. So he's not a guy who, when he's 5'9", 187 pounds, is going to age well, especially at the running back position. But yeah, once again, some of the fan base is extremely excited to see Jaleel McLaughlin. And I'm like, listen, I'm excited for him. I'm excited for his opportunity that he's got coming up. But yeah, I don't know, man. I'm hoping we see Harvey get like 15, 16, 17 touches. Because I think, honestly, the smart thing to do is see if this guy can be your bell cow. Because you're a 4-point home dog. And I'm not going to say nobody expects you to win this game. But I think everybody would understand if you don't win this game. So I think this is a really good spot to prove, or for Harvey to show if he's legit or not. Like, do you guys get what I'm saying? Like, this is a great opportunity to see what you have in Harvey. And honestly, since he is a 24-year-old rookie, this game is probably going to tell you everything you need to know about RJ Harvey. We got to show why we drafted RJ Harvey in the top 60. Of course. And he's done really, really well with his limited touches this year. But, you know, under center rushing, he has not been good at all this year. He's been good at a single back. He's been good at a pistol. He has not been good as a pure runner under center. J.K. Dobbins has been really good as a pure runner in shotgun. But, yeah, like you got to lean on Harvey this game, and he should be a focal part of your offense just because, you know, how should I put this? I think, you know, with the offensive struggles, you need to switch something up. Son of Judah saying, yeah, there's really nothing to lose. 100%. That's why, you know, you rely and lean on a guy like him. Then, yeah. I think after having some time to look back at some of the games throughout the season, I think Bo is underrated for this game as well. We can get by passing and letting off the run a little. The problem is, I don't agree with this sentiment. Like, we can't get by passing in this game, and here's why. The reason I don't think we're going to be able to get by passing in this game is because, one, our passing offense has been anemic all year long. And one thing that we really, really struggle with as an offense is when the quarterback is pressured. Like, Bo Nix, he has a sense for pressure, but honestly, it avoids negative plays. But we need to be more sink or swim with our choices there, because I think now just throwing away and potentially getting flagged for grounding just doesn't help anyone. But it hasn't been pretty, but we can get some things going. You're right. That being said, the only time we've really, really ramped up the passing game and been consistent throughout the game was Cincinnati and Dallas, and those are historically bad defenses. And Spagnuolo is going to know how to pressure Nix. Spagnuolo is going to figure out, you know, what Houston did. Spagnuolo is going to figure out what the Raiders did to, you know, wipe the ability for him to, make those plays or whatever. But yeah, so that's how I'm feeling about that. That's how I'm feeling about that right now. Like, the only thing that I could see being better is the screen game, because Lil Jordan Humphrey is going to help that. And you can say whatever you want about Lil Jordan Humphrey. Like, I was one of those guys that I saw the negative value last year. I didn't understand why a lot of people really liked him, but I digress. But I can agree he undoubtedly is going to help us, because Sherfield has probably been the worst player on this team this year. Like, no joke. I don't even know why we signed Sherfield. He's been a complete waste. RJ and the Wildcat. Yeah, that'd be fun. That'd be fun. I remember they did that in the red zone against Dallas, so that would be a really, really sick, though. I will say that 10 games in, no bye week, this mini bye should really help the team. I'm optimistic, but I think we see a better team Sunday plus LJH and Mims back. Yeah, that's big for the offense. And, while we had our struggles against Houston and while we had our struggles against the Raiders, I was like, man, Marvin Mims is important to this team, but he's not this important to this team. You know what I'm saying? But, yeah, 10 games in, no bye week. This mini bye week should help us a lot. And you're completely right in saying that. I'm surprised the team is as tired as they are, though, because I honestly thought that, Sean Payton, George Payton did the right thing by refusing the, what's it called? Refusing to, get the bye week immediately after, what is that? London. I thought they did the smart thing, but it proves that maybe next time they're just going to take the bye after the international game. They should make Dondre Tillman a fullback. Yeah. Honestly, I don't disagree. Like, that guy has some wiggle. That guy has some burst. That guy has some explosiveness. He looks really, really big too. Like, I know he's actually like 240, but he looks enormous. So they should make Dondre Tillman a fullback. Like, honestly, with how much he's shown on those 2 returns, it's so funny because remember Singleton, like, motioning him over and then just laying the block? We've traveled the amount of miles. We've traveled something like 80% of the miles already. See, this is why I thought it was so smart to not take the bye week after London, because your next long flight is to Washington, and that's basically it. You're basically done with road games. You were basically done with road games for the year after Houston. Like, you still have Washington and you still have KC, but yeah. I thought it was smart at the time. Obviously, you look at how the team reacted to it, and maybe it wasn't, but yeah. Tillman, 99-yard pick six to end the game. Holy cow! I would be. How do you put this? I would be spraying a lot of volume everywhere. 100% Tillman on offense would be great, dude. A lot of people are like bringing that up as a legit possibility, and it would be absolutely fantastic. If Dondre Tillman was on the offensive side of the ball and, you found a way to make him your joker, which I know a lot of people are sick of talking about, that might be pretty sick. That might be pretty sweet. But yeah. Tillman on offense would be great. Tillman on offense would be fantastic. And where am I? All right, here we go. I'm not going to lie. He's probably forced more missed tackles on those like 2 plays than Troy Franklin has all year. Because honestly, that play, he showed some insane burst. Unfortunately, our team has looked like the Joker. Dude, Evan Ingram looks like he was the Joker. Do what Alabama did and run a screen for Tillman in the red zone? Maybe. The only problem is if you throw him out there, then, like, I don't know, a team will probably be like, hey, something's a little off, because NFL defenders are just way too disciplined. And they're probably going to notice that something's a little off if you throw Dondre Tillman out there on red zone offense, on goal line offense. So I think that it's easier said than done to, like, run stuff like that and, like, draw stuff up and execute, because if this is on, like, 4th and goal, then the fan base is going to riot, and deservedly so. But I like the idea. At least right now, of putting it in the hands of Tillman and just seeing what he can do. Tillman for Tay? Or Tillman for tight end? I mean, I feel like that'd make more sense because he actually did play tight end. Yeah. Probably insane blocking too. I don't know, man. Blocking is not easy to pick up. Like, especially because blocking assignments as the tight end are more than just like, you're usually on the end of the line, so it's not like you can just be in the way, I think that's something that's like easier said than done. But I get what you're saying. Like, it would be pretty fun if we saw that. It would be a lot of fun if we saw that. And I don't know. You guys let me know what you think about that. Do you think Dondre Tillman should play offense? And also, Dondre Tillman is going to get a lot of run this game because Jonah Ellis is out. So Dondre Tillman will be the first guy off the bench in the event that Benito or Cooper need a break. And Q Robinson, I assume, is going to be inactive, but you never know based on the fact that he was late running onto the field. I don't know how the coaching staff is feeling about that. I don't know how Sean Payton's feeling about that. I don't know how Darren Rizzi's feeling about that. I could see them being very petty, though, and being like, all right, maybe we'll activate Savion for this game. Who knows? But yeah. Yeah, once again, tomorrow I will be getting a new camera verified because I got a notification saying that Amazon delivered it today. So, yeah. You're going to be seeing me with a different view tomorrow, hopefully upgraded, because it was a $900 camera. So if it doesn't look better than my default Mac webcam, then I'm going to be really sad. I think it'll look fantastic, though. Next thing I need to do is I need to figure out some real mic settings, because if I have the mic close to me, then it sounds really, really good. But I like to sit a little ways back because I don't like being hunched over by my computer. Either way, fireside chat. Denver Broncos tonight, November 14th, 2025, 10:52 p.m. Mountain Standard Time. Just loving this series so far. Let me know your guys' thoughts on the series. Are you guys liking? I see a lot. Because it always pops off. Okay, so yeah, just some general sports talk. Let me know how you guys are feeling about literally anything. I'm a mega casual when it comes to the NBA, but I saw that Jack Hughes, the guy who plays on the Devils, injured his hand at a team dinner last night, which is really, really insane. I think that is so absurd. That's one of the most absurd injuries I've ever heard of. Wait, wasn't there a Tigers reliever who got who pinky swellness? Who what was that one guy? There was a guy who got pinky swellness who played on the Tigers in 2006. Wait, what am I trying to say? He got pinky swellness after playing Guitar Hero. That's what it was. Yeah, it's been pretty cool so far. I think it'll be pretty fun after big games. Agreed. I think this series is going to be really fun after big games because, I do all the stuff on my channel, like the 5 things we learned. What else do? I do Horsepower Hour every Monday night with Jeremy, with David, with Mark. What else am I doing? But after the big games, yeah, it'll be really, really fun. I'm trying to think. There was something I was going to say. Oh, yes. Unfortunately, on Christmas, I have to spend it in Missouri, in St. Louis. So I will not be able to stream after that game. But yeah, that would be really fun if I were able to somehow work something out and, be nomadic with my setup, if you will. But yeah. Man, I'm telling you, this sparkling ice Starburst bangs. Oh, man. Either way, just general football talk. We've got college football tomorrow. Let me know how you guys are feeling. Let me know how you guys are feeling because I think the college football slate tomorrow is an absolute banger. It was going to be an absolute banger. All good, man. Christmas is day for the family anyway. Dude, I know, but St. Louis is not my preferred place to be on Christmas because I've never traveled for Christmas. I never have. I've always spent it with wherever I lived in at the time, which for 2 out of the 25 years of my life has been Denver, Colorado, right here well, I don't live in Denver, I live in Littleton, but yeah, but either way, I wish I was not traveling on Christmas, especially because my grandparents bandwagoned the Chiefs after they became really good. So yeah, I think Ohio State is going back to back, dude. I saw Ohio State live 2 weeks ago. I think you're right. I just don't see anybody who could beat them. Like in the era of NIL, like they're just so good. They're nasty, like Carnell Tate, Brandon Innes, and who's that other guy? Jeremiah Smith. That is such a good receiving tandem. And the only thing that does concern me is they don't really have a running back weapon. Like they had 2 that got picked early second round this past draft. And, even my cousins that are like huge Ohio State Rednecks are like, wow, I can't understand how, we keep giving, I forget what his name was, like CJ West or something, the ball. Like there's just some complete no-name running back at Ohio State who got a lot of touches against PSU. And yeah. I'm in Texas. It's hard catching the games because of out of market. I grew up in Inglewood. Do you stream them or do you what's it called? Yeah, you don't stream them, do you? Because streaming them is honestly my go-to when that is the case. But yeah, I remember I lived at a market in 2023 and I lived in Vegas and I would always use Stream East to watch the Broncos and I'd always have like Red Zone on and sometimes I got to see the big plays afterward, or before it popped up on my stream. But yeah. Yeah. You grew up in Inglewood too. That's interesting. Did you like grow up by, I'm trying to think, what part of Inglewood am I familiar with? Did you grow up like off Santa Fe? NFL Plus most of the time. Catch a replay right after. Oh yeah, Stream East was the GOAT. Big issue would be Julian saying inexperience, I guess, but with their defense, it would take a crazy collapse for them to lose. Yeah, dude, especially because they're gonna have a linebacker probably picked in the top 5 in Arvell Reese, and then they're gonna have Sonny Styles picked in, I don't know, 2025, that range. Yeah. NFL Plus most of the time, or catch replay right after the live. Stream East was the GOAT, man. I can't believe that Egypt cooperated and arrested the 2 dudes that were running it. It's why I'll never go to Egypt. I live in Virginia. We never get Broncos games here. Yeah, for East Coast fans, for fans that live really far away, I feel bad because I lived in Vegas 2 years ago, and that didn't make things that much more difficult for me to follow the team. Obviously, I'm, here now in Denver, but if I lived in like Phoenix, if I lived in like New Mexico or Utah or something like that, it's still easy to be a fan of the Broncos there because you still get most of the games. But, yeah, no, I get what you're saying. It's got to be terrible for the fans that live like far away, even like Seattle or SoCal. I feel like that'd be pretty hard. We had a ranch right across Colorado Academy. Wow, you had a ranch in Inglewood? I'm surprised they had land for that. Yeah, either way, Inglewood. That's interesting because when I think of Inglewood, I think about, coal mines and like, I don't know. I just didn't expect that. I didn't think that would be Inglewood. Let me check the college football slate. Let me check the college football slate tomorrow. Okay, here we go. Yeah, here we go. My cousin goes to Oklahoma, so maybe like she'll probably be pretty jazzed about that one. Indiana might win this game 70-0. Let's see. USF versus Navy might be fun. I feel like Notre Dame's going to beat Pitt. Lenoris against Texas A&M, that might be cool. Go Arizona. Go Wildcats, y'all. Man, if we could get another conference win, that would be fantastic. Yeah, either way. Let me know what you guys think. I'm going to zoom in a little bit just so it's a little easier to read. Iowa USC, that's going to be a good one. For some reason, that's a Big Ten matchup, which Man, I'll never forget what they took away from us with the Pac-12. Georgia Tech versus BC might be fun. Go UCF as well. I cheer for UCF and Arizona in college football, so going into number 6 Texas Tech, that might be difficult. I think Texas Tech is probably going to win the Big 12. Oklahoma versus Bama. This one, I think everybody's got to be circled. I just don't think that Oklahoma is going to be able to slow down Ty Simpson. I really don't. Let me see. I'm surprised this is a night game because it feels like every Ohio State fan I knew was complaining about no night games. UT versus UGA, that might be fun. UF versus Ole Miss, that might be fun. I mean, I'm curious to see Lagway against Ole Miss. That might be cool. Overall, those are the ones that I really, really care about. Who's CSU playing? No, I'm kidding. Lakewood. Okay, that makes sense. Because, I could see how there'd be like ranches in Lakewood because Lakewood is enormous. But yeah, Inglewood, I was like, damn, Inglewood felt really urban to me. Bama versus Oklahoma is going to be a banger. Same with UT versus UGA. Big games for college football seeding. College football games got confusing. I used to just watch the Buffs and Coach Prime, and I like to watch Archie Manning grow as a player. Yeah. A lot of people are like that. A lot of people are in that boat too. The college football games are confusing, so you're not wrong there, but Bama versus Oklahoma is going to be really good. Texas versus UGA, same thing. But yeah, big games for CFP playoff seeding. You are correct. Either way, go Arizona, am I right? Hold on. If I was not at Penn State versus Ohio State 2 weeks ago, I would have gone to Arizona versus CU. And I would have been able to see my team just absolutely dominate and roll all day long. Yeah, either way. That's how I'm feeling about college football tomorrow. How are you guys feeling about the NFL this upcoming week? Let me actually see. I'm going to switch this to... Oh, here we go. All right. Anything stick out to you guys on this week's upcoming schedule? Across the NFL, like obviously we've got the London game, Commanders, Dolphins. I'm not really excited for that one. What am I trying to say? I'm chewing my food right now, sorry. My guess, is this Monday Night Football? Yeah. I mean, Monday Night Football, they don't always put the best games, but Monday Night Football is a clear step down from Sunday Night Football, which is why I think it is in that slot. And man, I used to live in Vegas, and I knew tons of Cowboys fans, so I imagine that the Cowboys are going to have a great home crowd. Wait, hold on. Okay. There we go. I realized I wasn't sharing this tab. Okay. There. Nice. There we go. Oh, finally I got Mark in here. Let's go. It's my third time streaming, and I finally was able to catch Mark on one of my After Dark things. But no, I'm super, super, super pumped that Mark is in here. Mark, if you're not familiar, you just chill here. We literally just chill. Seahawks, Rams, that's going to be a banger, and whoever wins that one is going to be number 1 in the NFL in all the power rankings. Let's go. I'm pumped for the Chiefs game. KC is going to win by like 30. Nice bait, mate. I really ate out of bait. SNF, S tier, Monday Night Football, A tier, Thursday Night Football, B tier. Yeah. Like Monday Night Football, sometimes it's a banger, but oftentimes it's a letdown. All right, Fish Sticks Kanye. Easy win for the Chiefs. Yeah. All right. Yeah, 4-point favorite. Easy win, am I right? easy win against a team that's riding a 10-game home winning streak. So, yeah, cool. Sunday Night Football S tier, Monday Night Football A tier, Thursday Night Football B tier. Like, honestly, I would put Thursday Night Football in D tier. Thursday Night Football is a horrible product. I like how this guy says the Broncos aren't good. All their wins are fake as hell. When we're actually winning our games and we don't need the refs to do it, unlike Kansas City did last year. All right. I work in retail in Texas. Traffic customers actually stop coming during Cowboys games. That makes sense. Like, that makes sense to me because, and I think it's very similar to, Denver here. Like, if you want to do anything during halftime during a game, then you basically have free will. I think it was more noticeable during the Manning years, but yeah, there's some people whose Sundays don't revolve around sports, and I don't get it. Like, I work at a restaurant that's like a breakfast, lunch, and dinner place, and brunch is one of the busiest shifts. But even then, I don't understand how, and I don't work Sundays, obviously, but even then, I don't understand how people's like days don't revolve around sports on Sundays. Mark, you got to try this sparkling ice, the Starburst flavored ones. I finally was able to try some, and it's so good. Funny a Chiefs fan dug deep to find a Broncos pod. Lol, looks like a Broncos fan to me. I mean, hey, I appreciate engagement from every fan base. I would love for fan bases to, if a Chiefs fan came in here and like was actually here to talk about the game instead of say like, hey, all the Broncos wins are fake as hell. If he was actually here to talk about the game instead of just troll, then I would have loved to have a discussion with him. I just love talking football. So when I get my new camera tomorrow, which by the way, I don't know if I told you guys, but which obviously the people that have caught my last 2 lives, they know it's coming, but I got a real professional camera coming tomorrow, like not a real professional, like $8,000 one, but I do have a new camera coming tomorrow, and I think it's going to look cool. Like and subscribe. Either way, Mark, what we talked about tonight was we talked about Jaleel McLaughlin. We talked about Tyler Bidet. We talked about, just some other things. Talked about the college football slate tomorrow. And yeah, thank you, Faded Wolf. Make sure y'all subscribe. Because you guys make this possible. And honestly, since Andrew Mace doesn't do After Dark anymore, I figured that I would step up to the plate and do this as often as I can because I have way too much free time on my hands, like whether I want to admit it or not. But yeah. So, Mark, the camera is called Sony EZV-10. And yeah, it's a Sony camera, and it's one that's like meant for like content creation. So yeah, it'll be funny. Or not funny, but it'll be sick. Always the Chiefs fans that became fans in 2019 that talked the most as well. Dude, I don't know. Yeah. Do I think, what was his name? Fish Six Kanye? I wonder if he could tell me who Alex Smith is. Like, it's crazy that the Chiefs have such a big bandwagon fan base because they have a gross logo. They have, a gross uniform. They play in a horrible place. Like, let's be honest, KC is just not that cool. But, I respect the fact that the Chiefs do have like a small market devout fan base, but Kansas and Missouri, rural Kansas and Missouri are just full of angry, fat old Chiefs fans. Just spoken as somebody who's been through those places plenty of times. But yeah, no, I get what you're saying. Now, I do actually know a couple of Chiefs fans who are diehards and they're from like Kansas City or whatever. And you know what? I respect them, whatever. Their fandom is completely valid to me, but all those people that, started bandwagoning the Chiefs, I'm just like, why? Don't make sense to me, but whatever. If you're going to bandwagon a team, you should bandwagon New England because apparently they don't mess with their quarterbacks or whatever. But yeah, Mark, the camera was called Sony EZV-10. I forget how much it was on Amazon in particular, but it was pretty expensive, and I really liked that one. Have you noticed at the game if the Chiefs or Raiders fans are worst at the stadium? I know when I was at the games, Raiders fans were brutal. I think the people that actually go to those games are pretty chill. Like, a lot of the times you're just going to see fights on social media from like whatever fan base. And honestly, everyone makes an ass out of themselves at the stadium. Like, I don't know. like when you get into the stadium and you have so many people around you who are cheering for different teams and, liquor's involved and all that, people can tend to get into fights. But honestly, I've never had a bad experience at a stadium. Like, I've never seen a fight happen at the stadium, which I've been to, I don't know how many Broncos games in my life. I think on my Memento app where you can check how many sports games you've been to, I think I've been to 40 throughout my life. Wait, hold on. This is a good test. How many Broncos games do you think Kodiak has been to, guys? How many Broncos games do you think Kodiak has been to? Just take any random guess in the comments. Let me see, because actually I don't know. Let's see. It's definitely more than 10. I think Son of Judah is probably going to be the closest, but let's see. Let's see. Profile. My teams. I have been to 44 Broncos games throughout my life. So you were really, really close, Son of Judah. That is really impressive. Actually, I don't have the ones from this year on there. And I went to the Giants one and I went to the Titans one. But if you guys want to see all the games I've been to, Broncos games, hold on. I'm going to scroll. Oh, yeah. Now, there is a lull period here because I did move away for a little bit. I was in Vegas and Hawaii during these a few of these times, but yeah. This one's the best one, obviously, the AFC Championship. I knew you said you should get season tickets. Yeah, you're right. But my dad, season tickets have been in my family for a long time. My dad doesn't really like going to the games anymore because as he's gotten older and as me and my sister have my sister's 26, I'm 24, but so we don't really go anymore. Now, when we were younger and he had the mental energy to actually deal with getting down there and whatever, and deal with driving and all that, we went to more. But what's the worst Broncos game you've seen live? I saw a bunch during the Tebow year. So, but if you're just talking about probably the one in 2015 against Kansas City where Manning threw 4 picks. That one was terrible. That's probably the worst I've ever seen them home at. That's probably the worst performance I've ever seen them play at home. As far as the other games, the 2014 divisional round against Indy was equally dog shit, in my opinion, probably because it was the playoffs, and we just came out and we just laid a complete egg. Trying to think, though. I've seen some really shitty games. 2011, I saw week 17 against Kansas City too. So whenever I see Kansas City, we just lay an egg, I guess. Which I'm not seeing that. I'm not seeing this game in person on Sunday. But yeah, my dad was at that game, and my dad was also at the game this past Thursday night, or the Thursday night football against the Raiders. So maybe my dad should stop going to home Thursday night football games because, yeah. Now, the one thing I want to know, Faded Wolf, did you leave early? You said get on the list. Could your dad pass you his tickets? He could. As long as it's in your family, I think that I could, and I wouldn't have to deal with the wait list or anything like that. But yeah, don't quote me on that. But yeah, my first game against oh Jesus, I feel so bad that you had to witness this. This was my first year following football, but I didn't really understand the magnitude of it. I understood it, but I also didn't. So. Yeah, but I remember watching the Raiders go up 21-0 in the first 5 minutes of the game, and I was like, oh, my God, because I was more into hockey then. But 2011 was when football became my number one. Obviously, I followed the Broncos in 2010, and, yeah, I knew that the team wasn't doing very well in 2010, but, yeah. No, I stayed the whole game. I am very sorry that you had to watch Russ miss KJ Hamler in the end zone. I thought, I stayed the whole Giants game, too, and I thought that I was going to have to talk about, potentially seeing the worst Broncos performance ever in recent memory, and instead we completely came alive and they choked. That Thursday night football game was the game I knew Russ was cooked in Denver. Here's the thing. After we hired Sean Payton, I was willing to chalk up Russ being that bad to Nathaniel Hackett. And statistically, you look at anything from that Sean Payton year, like Russ did improve statistically, but he still like obviously wasn't the answer. But the season that told me Russ was cooked the game that told me Russ was cooked was 2023 Thursday night or Christmas night against New England. Like that's what told me Russ was just flat out done here. I know that we had seen him like not play very well throughout those times, but throughout basically that entire season. But yeah, I don't know. Sean Payton basically had to turn him into a check down merchant because he didn't do anything. But I mean, our offense was still painful that year, but it was much better than the Hackett year where we were just laughable. I'm trying to think. What game did I realize that Russ like wasn't the answer? I don't know. Probably the Detroit game. Thursday night football games at Mile High just might be cursed. Colts 2022, Raiders 2025. Yeah. Remember, what's it called? I'm trying to think. Chargers 2013. Trying to think of some other ones. 2015. I'm trying to think. 2017. 2018. I'm trying to think of like Thursday night football games we've had. Oh, yeah. Chiefs 2019. That was another horrible one. Yeah. Russ is the Grinch that stole my Christmas. Yeah. And it's so funny because I had to work that Christmas night in Las Vegas, and my dad just comes to the bar. My parents were eating at that time in my restaurant. My dad comes to the bar, and he's like, "You're never going to believe what happened." And I was like, "Oh, my God. I can't believe we lost to New England." I understand why the Seahawks booed him on his return to Seattle his first year. Even then, I thought they looked really petty for doing that because if my quarterback had, kept me, or it looked like Russ had kept me afloat, then whatever. Now, obviously, after that season had played out, it looked like Pete Carroll had more of his fingerprints on the Seahawks being more of a winning team than Russell Wilson did, but I thought that was still very classless of the fan base to do so. Like, I wouldn't boo per se. Like I booed Osweiler in Monday Night Football 2016, and I have no qualms about it. But yeah, the Hackett year was rough. Yeah, you're telling me, man. Man, that was such a forgettable year that I think I brought something up on Horsepower Hour that Hackett did something, and there was a game in the Hackett period, and then the guys Jeremy and David were just like, wow, that was such a forgettable year. But yeah. Yeah, overall, now it's time to talk about the best games I've ever seen. I saw Peyton Manning throw 7 touchdowns against the Baltimore Ravens back in 2013, Thursday Night Football, the opener. And if you guys remember why the game was here, it's because the Ravens shared facilities with the Baltimore Orioles who were playing a game that night. So wait, hold on. Let me see if I can hold on. I'm going to see if I can find this picture of me at Ravens Broncos a long time ago. Because I was at the playoff game where we also just completely blew it. There you go. 12-year-old Kodiak at Ravens Broncos 2013. And if you want to know whose jersey I was wearing in this picture, Willis McGahee. 5-12 and didn't even have a first-round pick to cope. Yeah, no, that was bad. Like, the fact that you gave up your first-round pick for that, like, you could stomach it if it was, like, number 10 or number 11, but the fact that it became top 5 is just, yikes. That was bad. Now, if there's anything you can say that George Payton did really well, like, thank God we traded away the 2022 number 9 overall pick because, it was only contingent on having one season of letting your first round pick go in 2023 in that draft cycle. So shout out to him. And then we were free. Then we had our pick throughout the 2023-2024 season. Willis McGahee will always be the more underrated running back we had. Dude, I loved Willis McGahee. Like, a lot of people want to talk about Tebow time, and during that 2011 run, that was like my real first sports memory the two biggest things that really stick out that I don't think a lot of people talk about were Willis McGahee and Matt Prater. Like, they single-handedly won some games. How freaking adorable 12-year-old Kodiak was. Yeah, I know. What happens? I mean, I shaved my face today, though. Finally, for the first time in like a month. I look like a 12-year-old again. Then we traded one for Payton. Yeah, like, well worth it, but still, like, you know, unfortunately, it's, I don't know. Yeah, well worth it, but yeah, we're still a roster down 3 firsts and 3 seconds. And unfortunately, you know, it goes back to George Payton's decisions during the 2022 offseason. Dude, I hate this. Was nauseating football to watch. 2021, like, this was just an absolutely nauseating year. I know a lot of Broncos fans like Teddy. I'm not one of those. I think he was laughable. I think it's been crazy how he's been talked about when he offered so little to this team and this offense. But especially if you look back at what people had said in 2021, it's very, very different to what's being said now. But I think since they don't have to watch him on Sundays, everybody can just be like, yeah, he's a great dude, which he is. I won't deny it. But yeah, I think, yeah, the Pat Shurmur, Teddy Bridgewater year sucked. The only good thing about it, I will say, is that in 2021, we did have 2 running backs go over 900 yards, and feels like it's been a long time since our run game has been that dangerous. But yeah, Melvin and Javonte both got 934, I think, 935 rushing yards from scrimmage, and then Javonte blew out his knee, and then Melvin Gordon turned into Mr. Fumble the Football. Yeah, I respect Teddy too, Faded Wolf. Like, I respect him as a person. I don't respect his effort. I didn't respect his effort against the Eagles on the fumble injury, or on the Darius Slay fumble. Yeah, but a lot of people, I don't know. Let me know what you guys think about Teddy Bridgewater in the chat, because I feel like I'm very on the outs when it comes to the rest of the fan base. Granted, I think part of it is because I knew where we were headed with Bridgewater, and I thought it was really, really stupid to start Drew Lock over him, or to start him over Drew Lock, because I was like, dude, you got to sink or swim. And I figured that Fangio was fired at the end of that year anyway, so I was like, all right, whatever. No big deal. But yeah, that's how I felt about that too. Yeah. All right. There was something else I was going to show you guys. I'm pumped, gang. 2 more days and we get to beat the Chiefs. Dude, I'm excited for the game. Like, regardless of what happens, I still have a good feeling about the game. Yeah. Mark said, I thought Teddy was the best of all the quarterbacks we had between Manning and Bo. Not saying much, but that's why I think he gets the love he does. I would say I think it's Keenum. Now, the reason I say it's Keenum is because the 2021 team had a lot that Teddy Bridgewater did not do that much with. Meanwhile, in 2018, I felt like Keenum delivered us a big, big win against the Steelers. I thought he did a great job in the final drive of the game against the 12-4 Chargers that year when we ended up winning the game. So my vote, I think Keenum was better than Bridgewater. But again, we're comparing poop to shit. So yeah. Kind of sucks we didn't have a Jameis Winston year. Would have been a lot more interesting than Teddy. I mean, yeah. Like, if you want to see, Jameis Winston's not always going to play good football, but he always is going to play entertaining football. So yeah, that would have been really fun. I agree Keenum was better than Teddy. Actually, Simeon was pretty good. In 2016, like the first 4 or 5 weeks of the year, he played at a very, very high level. And then the offense in 2016 was just terrible. The offensive line was just terrible, and they let him get nailed. Same shit, different smell. Yeah, literally. Like, comparing, it's so funny when we compare Keenum to Simeon to Teddy Bridgewater. I'm just like, man. Oh, man. I agree Keenum was better than Teddy. Or Simeon. Yeah, once again, I think Simeon has a nice argument. Because, hold on. This is actually getting me thinking. I'm going to pull up let me see if I can find up this tool. If this trend holds up, we may see Gardner Minshew against the Broncos. Denver D is hard on quarterbacks. Oh, man. I don't want to, like, this is a slippery slope to go down because I don't want to say the wrong thing and get flagged. But if you're looking at the past 2 games, sure, but I don't know. That's not something you can really bet on, but we'll see. Well, back in the day, we were winning games with Kyle Orton. Were we winning games with Kyle Orton, though? I felt like 2009. Yeah, I guess we were 6-0, and then finished 8-8, though. And then 2010, 4-12. And then 2011 at the beginning of the year. We started 1-4, though, and then we benched him for Tebow time. Yeah, I forgot, like, the 2019, even though 2019, okay, I will say this, like, don't crucify me. 2019, even though it ended with the Chiefs winning the Super Bowl for the first time in 50 years, 2019 has been my favorite year ever following this league. But it was such an irrelevant year for the Broncos because we blew a million leads and we basically had nothing going exciting for us except for Drew Lock's final 5 games of the year. But yeah, Flacco was awful to watch. Flacco was absolutely horrible to watch. Like, he literally did not care. All right. Hold on. All right. I'm going to compare. Oh, shit. Where? Wait, did I lose y'all? No, I didn't. Okay. Here we go. Okay. All right. I don't know why I just hit that. Either way. All right. God, the Pro Football Reference site is so hard to use. I promise you, I'm getting this one. I promise you, I'm getting this. Trevor Siemian. Okay. And then Teddy Bridgewater. Okay. So now I'm about to compare Teddy Bridgewater to Trevor Siemian. Let's see who is better statistically. So Teddy Bridgewater, I mean, all these, I don't really care about any of these because it's rushing stats and both guys were basically a non-factor on the ground. But, I mean, I guess Teddy Bridgewater did have better, like, raw stats, so that's pretty cool. Let's see. Yeah. The one thing I will say, though, is I feel like, what's his name? I feel like Bridgewater had a lot more around him than we realized. Because I remember, hold on, I put out a tweet from on my old Twitter. Let me see if I can find it, actually. So, yeah, I guess statistically, what's his name? Trevor Siemian was, or Teddy Bridgewater was better than. This is from my old. Wait, I can't find it. I'm trying to find this. Trust me. I think I can. Okay, here we go. This is from my old Twitter. And here's what I said. I said that Teddy Bridgewater had a horrible season. 6th highest time thrown in the league, 2 wide receivers, 31 sacks taken, despite the Broncos being 15th in pressure allowed. Obviously, the wide receiver we drafted in 2020 was not like anything special, but yeah. So this was on my old Twitter. If you want to go check out the stuff I was putting on there, then yeah, I guess go ahead, have at it. Now, I guess Bridgewater once again was better statistically, but I only really remember him winning us one game that year, and it was what's it called? It was against the Giants, Week 1. Now I'm going to compare Keenum to Bridgewater. I think statistically Bridgewater was still better, but the offense was painful for so much that year. Dude, literally. Teddy's stats will always look decent because he absolutely will not turn the football over, even if it means getting hit 30 times a game. Yeah, 100%. And I feel like that's something that really derailed him and derailed his trajectory in the NFL is that after he got that really bad knee injury with the Vikings. Yeah. So I guess Keenum had more passing yards per game, but I mean, he probably had man, it feels like comparing, yeah, same shit, different spell, comparing the 2018 offense to the 2021 offense. The 2021 offense had Philip Lindsay, or 2018 offense had Philip Lindsay, though, but yeah, overall, I think I'll take this. I'll take this because, quite simply, because what's it called? I'm looking for air yards per attempt, and I can't find that here. Wow. Case Keenum had more rushing yards after contact per rush than, wow, Teddy Bridgewater. Interesting. Either way, I'm trying to find air yards per attempt, but I can almost guarantee you Case Keenum had like way more than Bridgewater did that year. AJ Brown, Wandale, or Christian Watson in my flex. Probably Wandale. I just go with him for Jameis. Yeah, that's kind of surprising to me. Although, if you think about the first 3 games, Teddy was slinging it that year, and then he got concussed, and then that's like what's it called? Adjusted net yards per attempt, though. I thought that's what it was. Yeah, that's what it is. Adjusted yards gained per pass attempt. I don't know. This is so weird, though. Because neither of these, all these look like air yards per attempt, and neither of these are like saying it. I don't know. Maybe I'm tweaking. John Elway loved Case Keenum. So do I, man. So did I. I think John Elway, yeah, we knew that he was hitting the liquor. Start AJ Brown, you always take the upside. I mean, that's not an invalid argument. But when a guy comes out and says, cut me or trade me if I'm on your fantasy team, yeah. Plus, I mean, yeah, I get your thinking, though, because you probably took AJ Brown in the second round in fantasy Dennis Reisman. So, yeah. But either way, I'm interested in a Wandale spike week if that is on the table with Jameis. Wish me luck on my pick. I got the Rams over Seattle and Lions over Philly. Wait, okay. You got to elaborate on this. What does he say about Keenum? What does Aqib Talib say about Keenum? Because honestly, I don't listen to Aqib Talib's shit, but I probably should because he's honestly pretty funny. But yeah, no, I got Rams over Seattle too, just because they've been there, done that. And yeah, Detroit just looks like they're playing better football at this point. Yeah, no, Mark, you got to elaborate on that because what does he say? What does Aqib Talib say about Case Keenum? But Aqib never played with Keenum because Aqib got traded before the 2018. Huh. Okay. Honestly, this is probably every backup quarterback in the NFL. Yeah, I've started listening to more Aqib Talib stuff lately because ever since I've started doing this, I have to listen to what everybody else is saying. Yeah. Honestly, this is probably every backup quarterback in the NFL because they know the system, they know whatever, but when you don't have such a grasp and a high pressure situation, or you have a low pressure situation like practice, and then you get to a high pressure situation. I mean, some guys just don't have it. Aqib Talib does defend Bo Nix a lot as well. Yeah. Oh, okay. That makes more sense. That makes more sense because Chris Harris Jr. was here until 2018. No. His last year here was 2019. So that makes sense. All right. Yeah, no. Did you guys see that video on YouTube about Aqib Talib talking about how him and Michael Crabtree like squashed their beef or whatever. It was like, yeah, Michael Crabtree in the game in 2017 against the Raiders, where we were like 3-7, the Raiders were like 4-6. Both of us were going nowhere. But yeah, no lie zone with Talib has been pretty good, dude. I wish yeah, he is like good on media, so I'm happy he like found something successful in his post-playing career. I'm sad he doesn't get on Fox though anymore. Case was unreal in camp that year. You know what's so funny? I wish I was plugged in at the time when the 2018 training camp was going around, because everyone says that. Everyone said that they had heard like legendary stuff about Keenum during the 2018 training camp. That being said, like, I don't know. Once again, I was on Reddit at the time. Like, I was 17 years old, going into my senior year of high school. So, like, I wasn't completely tuned out, but, like, I wasn't smart. Or I was still smart, but I wasn't, like, connected, like, in the way I am now. Like, I didn't listen to a lot of local stuff back then. Besides, I'd listen to the driving home from school, and I'd listen to, I couldn't stand Evans on the radio, but I would listen to Schlereth and Evans like in the mornings when I was driving to school. Okay, listen, I figured the 2018 team could be above water, but I didn't. Man. Like when I was 17 years old after we had the 2018 draft, I was like, man, all right, we could have something here. And then I was like, oh boy. Keep Talib is cool, man. Very supportive of the team as well. Yeah, he is. And I love how he played with Tampa, New England, and Denver, and chooses to align with Denver. He doesn't live here, though. I think he lives in Dallas, but yeah. No, Aqib Talib is sick, dude. I love him. But I didn't listen to, like, local stuff at that time, so, man, oh, man. That would have been hilarious, though, but, yeah, I don't know. This is just, this and the Trent Sherfield, Jarrett Stidham connection, and with how bad the offensive line was in the preseason, it just proves none of this matters. Like, nothing matters until week 1 and your team's actually on the field. Like, man, I got to remember that for next year. Because I remember a lot of people this year were talking about, oh, my God, we got to cut Ben Powers. We got to move on from him. We got to keep a short leash on him. And the offensive line picked up right where it left off last year. So, it's so funny you mentioned this, Mark, because I never, what's it called? Like, even if someone that was plugged in at the time, I never knew that they were like talking about him like that. Last thing, then I got to go work in the morning. What player do you think is the wild card or X factor in this Chiefs game that can change the game? It's not on offense, it's on defense. So Dre Greenlaw has not gotten his full snap share yet. But with Singleton out, with Singleton recovering from the testicular torsion or whatever the surgery was for the cancer, then, or whatever you call it. I hope I didn't botch that too badly. The Chiefs probably don't win the Super Bowl 2 years ago if Dre Greenlaw's healthy for that whole game. So if you can have a guy that just goes in the middle of the field and knows how to play against Mahomes and knows how to shut down Travis Kelce, then if Dre Greenlaw has a really good game, then I feel really good about our chances against Kansas City on Sunday. But yeah, if you're talking about an offensive player, then I would probably say, you know what? This is going to sound crazy, but it's the guy we just signed 2 days ago, Lil Jordan Humphrey. If you're talking about a guy that I think could flip the tide of the game and could make this a lot more interesting than people want to realize, then yeah, I'm going to go with Lil Jordan Humphrey, because honestly, our screen game has been bad this year. And maybe Lil Jordan Humphrey is the key to unlocking it, but yeah. So hold on. Welcome to Denver Broncos Tonight, where you watch me eat, you watch me drink sparkling water, and you watch me put ear care fluid in my ear, because I have swimmer's ear, unfortunately, and I have it from the shower, which is the craziest part. Aqib Talib shooting himself was crazy. Yes, that was crazy. I remember I was 15 years old, and I remember my sister and I were like driving to the store, and I was like, what? I was like, dude, no way. And I remember a lot of people thinking, man, Aqib Talib's not going to be himself on the football field this year. I'm like, dude, I don't know. Yeah, that was crazy. One thing about this past preseason, though, the offense under Bo did struggle, and that was a sign of things to come. I guess you're right. Like, yeah, and I said it after the San Francisco game. Like, was I disappointed with the performance? Yeah, absolutely. But I don't think it was like, alarming or anything like that. Um, Agreed. I think he's talking about Greenlaw. But yeah, I'm glad you see the vision that I do with Greenlaw, Mark. Gives good perspective too to Denver winning against bad teams. It's the NFL. All wins are difficult. Not just a good defense can give you those wins. Yeah, I agree. Granted, I didn't want us to go 3 and out 12 times against the Raiders on Thursday Night Football, but I get what you're saying. But, we just need to play better. And I think I'm glad that the entire fan base pretty much realizes it. But yeah, winning is not easy in this league. And that's something that I have to remind myself. I had to remind myself of that after the Titans game, after the Giants game, after the Jets game. So yeah, don't underestimate Mims Jr. coming back. Like, listen, the thing about Mims is I knew he was important to our offense, but I refuse to believe he's been this important to where we just suck without him. But yeah, no, Mims could absolutely be a game breaker for this team because, he can strike at any point when he gets the ball in his hands. He's a dangerous guy. And, in my opinion, if you guys look at my video last year talking about the Broncos Chiefs special teams battle, before the Forsyth block, I felt like we were dominating Kansas City in the special teams battle. And then they made that stupid ass play. Faded Wolf Gaming. Agreed. All right. Good night, everyone. Catch y'all tomorrow, more than likely. If not, Sunday night for sure. What time are you jumping on Sunday? Probably around the same times I've been going, like 9, probably 10-ish. But yeah. Tomorrow, like I said, I'm going to pick up my new camera, and you guys are going to see a new part of me, which I'm excited about. Pat Bryant and RJ Harvey going over 100 each. Man, oh man. All I can say about that, ejaculatory volume. Like, honestly, if that happens, we're winning the game, no doubt, because that's something that we've really struggled with this year. Time of possession, chunk plays, all that. But yeah. So yeah. If that were to happen, that would be amazing. Hashtag bold take. Oof. It's bold, but I see the vision. I do see the vision there. Especially because Pat Bryant and RJ Harvey, neither of them have really had the chance to go nuclear. Like, obviously, RJ Harvey had that really good game against the Cowboys, but yeah. Hey, we got some rest. Yeah, we did. Mini bye week. And honestly, this actual bye week comes at a very opportune time for this team because we're down Adkins, we're down Dobbins, we're down Surtain, we're down Singleton, which I'm curious to see how we look at that Singleton too, because man, all year I've been thinking, all right, if we do happen to lose him, it'll be addition by subtraction. But now I don't know. Yeah. That's just, I don't know. Broncos suck, Giants on top. What happened a month ago, man? What happened a month ago? Evan Ingram needs to step up this Sunday, not holding my breath, though. Yeah, like, honestly, I don't expect much from Ingram the rest of the year, but if we can get something out of him, then that would be absolutely fantastic. But yeah. Haha, the scoreboard said different. Yeah, it did. That final score really said different, walking out of the stadium, especially because the Giants got a very, very friendly whistle that game and still couldn't beat us. So if Singleton is asked to not cover, he's a solid linebacker. You know what? You're right. But I think the thing that I've seen with Singleton, it kind of reminds me of Barton and Sternad last year, where if he's playing against a good team, then forget it. You're just going to be picked on all game, and it's just going to be a huge matchup nightmare. But if he's playing against a bad team, then he's going to come to play. That's how I felt about Alex Singleton this year. And yeah, when he can just be the guy that's just, doing run fits, like he'll have his 1 or 2 plays a game that he'll give up, like the 3rd and 10 on the Raiders touchdown drive, the like little swing pass to Mostert, that was on Singleton. But he still has done nothing except make plays against the bad teams this year. And, we're really going to miss him on the field, I feel, as a presence. But I'm interested to see who gets that green dot. I wish somebody had asked Sean Payton who's getting the green dot on Sunday. Let me actually look up. I wonder if there's like IDP projection places that are there, like when I used to look at defensive fantasy, a lot of those guys look at who's supposed to have the green dot. And I wonder if any of those projections have come out. Yeah. Either way, they got a win for Singleton. Yeah, man. Yeah, man. Like huge emotional win, emotional opportunity that you've got to play for your teammate who is going through that. So, I'm one of those guys. I've ripped on Singleton all year. And Mark, let me know if you're listening to me right now so I can, you can hold me to this and you can whatever. So, Mark, say something in the comments. Say something in the comments right now just so I know you're listening to me when I say what I'm about to say. But yeah, so they got to win for Singleton. I 100% agree. I 100% agree. Like, it's just added motivation to have something to play for. Like, you could look at the fact that we don't have Surtain. You could look at the fact that we don't have Dobbins. But at the end of the day, we do have some stuff riding for us. And honestly, the Singleton one will be a huge, huge motivator for this team this Sunday, much like it was for the Giants game. Much like the Demaryius Thomas stuff was for the Giants game, I should say. What are your birdies telling you about JK? Rappaport came out with a tweet today that said that he's not going to play tomorrow and that he's likely going to be put on IR. So that blows chunks. I did do the math, and the earliest he'd be able to come back if he is put on IR is Jacksonville, December 21st, which means he would be missing, off the top of my head, tomorrow, Washington, and then the Raiders, and then the Packers. Those are the 4 games that he would be missing if the team puts him on IR, because the IR rules are 4 games, not 4 weeks. Which sucks. I think it shouldn't be 4 games. It should be 4 weeks because, I don't know, I think they need to tweak that. But just me. I'm just some random guy on the internet. But yeah. Hold on. What was I going to do? What was I going to do? Do we know what's up with JK? Foot broke, ankle sprain. I think ligament sprain. I think that's what it was. Midfoot sprain. Now, if you guys study sports medicine, then you probably know better than I do, but yeah. And the Twitter doctor, Jesse Morris, I don't know, man. He is a really controversial figure, but he said it's estimated 2 to 6 weeks. And he put that out the day after the game. He put that out a day after the game. Wait, hold on. What am I doing? Okay, but yeah, overall, I think I'm going to get out of here. You guys have done an amazing job. You guys have done an amazing job being an amazing chat for tonight. So I want to give you all a shout out. Dennis Reisman, Judah, Faded Wolf, Mark. Always great to see y'all. Always great to see y'all. There was another guy in here too who I wanted to shout out. Andy, obviously, saw him early on, but Roan. Either way, I enjoyed having y'all in the chat tonight, and I hope you guys can say the same. But yeah, either way, this has been Denver Broncos tonight, Friday, November 14th, 2025. Well, I got 2 more days until we play the Chiefs. So let me know what you guys think. And either way, I'll stay on for like a minute just so y'all can say goodbye. But my cat's getting tired. I'm getting tired, which means it is time to play some college football, then knock out. Hey, buddy. Oh, my cat's been sleeping next to me pretty much the whole night. But yeah, Son of Judah, peace out, man. Yeah. And I will see you guys tomorrow night.